Hey, welcome to another weekly wrap-up and Q&A. If you haven't watched one of these yet, it's basically my time to rant, ramble, talk your ear off about all the things that happened during the week. I do a lot of podcasts, a lot of things music-related, and there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that maybe I don't get to talk about during a podcast with a specific guest. And also, I just like to ramble. So I've got a lot to say. And besides that, I also like to try to be more interactive with the viewers of this channel. I know that's important for YouTube. I'm no dummy. And also, it's kind of fun. A lot of times in the past, we've had people actually ask some really interesting questions about some of the guests that we've had on, and also a lot of shit talkers, but it's fucking fun. Why not do it, right? I've got the setup. I've got the time today. I usually do these on Friday, but I figured why not do one today? So here I am. So again, if you have any questions or want to talk in the chat, this is your time to do that. I've been trying to do these weekly wrap-ups, Q&As, once a week, but I get busy. And I wasn't able to do one yesterday. I try to do them Fridays, but I woke up and decided to do one today. Hi, Tracy. Yeah, I tend to ramble on, definitely. But yeah, I guess I'll start talking about some of the shit that happened this week. At the beginning of the week, my buddy, who also has another podcast, Nani Cerna, came by, and we did a podcast here at the Psychic Wave Studio. I first met Nani through podcasting. When I first started this podcast, Nani was on, I believe, episode number 6. And I think right now, podcast-wise, I'm at episode number 108. And so Nani's been a good friend of mine for about a year and a half now. And I had a free opening. Somebody bailed out last minute of a podcast. It happens. Everybody's in bands. Everybody has shit to do. Nani came up from Long Beach. We did a podcast. We got pretty drunk. And he was extremely open this podcast. He he talked a lot about what it's like being a musician, free drinks, going into that loophole. And one thing that I was shocked about was his willingness to talk about his open relationship that he has with his girlfriend. So he knows these podcasts are live and getting no credit for anything. I knew that he was in an open relationship, but I didn't know that he was open to talking about that. I guess, in a way, open relationships are more common these days. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what an open relationship is. It's when you're dedicated to someone in the classical relationship sense, but you're not tied to being with that one person physically. So, yeah. Yeah, John's like, oh dear. Yeah, I don't know if I have the balls to be in an open relationship. I would get way too jealous. I don't... Yeah, that's not for me. It's not for me. But for Nani, he always tells me, with time, you'll understand, you'll grow up, and you'll realize that sex and human relationships, it's all just silly anyway, and it'll matter less to you as you get older. I don't know about that. Maybe for him, but for me, I just get super fucking jealous. I'm jealous about everything. I don't want to be sitting at home thinking, who is my significant other fucking right now? I can't do it. But for Nani, he says it's one of the best relationships he's ever been in. And Nani doesn't lie to me very much, if at all. I don't think he's ever lied to me. And So when he tells me he's really happy, I believe it. But yeah, Tracy, I don't. Yeah, Tracy, you're not old. It's not like a strange idea to be monogamous. I think my heart doesn't have the capacity to be that frivolous with, my emotions. But yeah, I agree with you, Tracy. It's something that I can't really get into. And, when I'm in the past, when I was single, yeah, dating around and, hooking up with people that you meet, people that you enjoy, that's kind of typical. I don't see the problem in that. But when I get emotionally attached to somebody, I'm in it 100%. And I want to pick Nani's brain on this a little bit more because I didn't talk to him I didn't really go into it with him because I wasn't sure how much he wanted to talk about during the podcast. But I want to chat with him again and talk about, the emotional part. Does he get jealous when she goes out? I'm sure he does to some aspect, but he must have decided for himself that he's just not going to care. Now, how somebody gets to that point, I have no idea. But, Nani is a little bit older than me, and he's been through much different shit than me. And, to go on a live podcast and tell everyone you're in an open relationship, was that more of an invite? Was he telling people, hey, I'm in an open relationship, might as well, hit me up? I don't know, because I know his girlfriend Rose, and I love Rose. She's so sweet. She's so kind. Nani describes her as a bit of a hippie, so that could be maybe where that free love idea came in. But it's strange to know two people in a relationship who potentially are fucking other people. It's fun for me. I don't look down on it. Let me be clear. Sex is weird in general. Human emotions are tricky. I don't care what anybody does in their personal time. And Nani's a friend of mine, so I don't want to seem like I'm shitting on him at all. It's definitely foreign to me, and I would never tell anybody else what to do with themselves. But although I've never tried it out, I have no desire to, and I know I would be extremely jealous if I was in an open relationship. But yeah, I know Rose and I know Nani, and they're great together. They're fucking hilarious. I love them as a couple. And my girlfriend and I, we love hanging out with them. We've got plans to hang out with them tomorrow. It's just interesting that people can share their hearts with each other. Or maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's that they're not actually emotionally connected to the other people that they're with, but they're emotionally connected to the foundation of the relationship, which is themselves. John, I'm happy to hear your opinion on this because I'm not sharing Tracy. John, you've got a beautiful wife. I wouldn't blame you. You got to keep that one to yourself. That's a good call, John. Tracy, I wonder if some people do this because of a fear of truly loving someone or a fear of commitment. Damn, Tracy, that's quite the question. I've only been in love once, and I'm still with the person that I first fell in love with. And although relationships change over time, that feeling of being completely and totally in love with somebody is super fucking scary. It's putting all your eggs in one basket and relying on somebody else for a number of different things. But yeah, I it's hard to be in love. It really is. I think a lot about, just getting that phone call and hearing that the one person you love was in an accident or something happened. And you don't like these ideas, but I often picture, like, what if a fucking crazy person goes out and kills the person I love and they have to die a horrible, painful death? Your whole reality gets shattered. And Tracy, I do think that maybe some people do have open relationships so that they don't have to fully commit and give themselves to one person, because emotionally that's really fucking hard. I don't know if that's what Nani and Rose are doing, and I don't want to speak on their behalf too much, but I don't think that's what they're doing. I think realistically, it might just work for them. They're young, fun people that don't like the rules, apparently, or the status quo. But my point to all this is that Nani came on the podcast. He's in a band, Bundy. They're a band from Long Beach, California. They're one of my favorite bands, and I'm happy to be a friend with Nani. But he came on and he was extremely honest about how he feels about so many different things. And so that was a nice transition, because a lot of people come on this podcast and are very timid with what they'll say. I think they want to give off an image of professionalism, seeing as this is mostly the music scene and a lot of people are unprofessional. And I like that they do that. I like that they come on and try to put their best self forward. But with my podcast, especially for people that have watched them, I enjoy the hard conversations. I enjoy talking about things that make people uncomfortable or make people pissed off, because I can have a normal conversation with anyone. I'll chat anybody up. I don't care how old you are, what you look like, what your circumstances are. I'll just chat with you. But if you want to get into some tough conversations to really show what you feel inside, that's what I'm about. I would love to do that with more people. Nani is a great friend of mine, and I think he wanted to give me a podcast where we could chat about really taboo subjects, because taboo subjects are fun. That's why we gossip with our friends, We talk about shit that we wouldn't tell other people. But I like having those friends of mine come on the podcast and do that live in front of people. It adds a different level of craziness to it, but I love it. Excuse me. So yeah, thanks, Nani, for coming on. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is my weekly wrap-up. I go over things that have happened during the week. I do a podcast. I'm in a band. And I own a screen printing company, merchandising company, that does stuff for many bands that have come on the podcast and many that have not yet come on the podcast. But this is your chance to talk to me in the chat. As you can see, I've been doing that with the people in here so far. Say whatever you want to say. I'll answer any of your questions. This is kind of just my chance every week to be silly and interact more with the viewers, because I think it's fucking fun. Some of you are assholes in the chat, but it's still fun. You got to grill me every once in a while. People say I look like a homeless Jesus. As I put the water bottle right in front of the camera, I can't deny that. I definitely look like a homeless Jesus sometimes, but yeah. Yeah, Mike, water bottle's in the shot. I hate when I do that. Andrew Whip, hi. Give me 1 second. I'm having some crackling. I got to change the buffering on this. Okay, there we go. The buffering is changed. Yeah. Andrew Whip, hi. Sorry about that. Mike Maldonado, love you, dude. Are we still, are you working on that music? Huh? Andrew Whip, I'm nice to you, Shaggy. Is that you guys are calling me Shaggy now? Is that my nickname? Great. But yeah, Andrew Whip, have you been nice to me? Your name looks familiar. There are people in this chat that I have listened to before, and I don't remember if you were one of the nice ones, but we'll see. We'll see if you start talking shit on me. Yeah, Mike, band practice on Wednesday. So Mike Maldonado, he is the bassist for one of my favorite bands. I toured across the U.S. with them, Iris. And we are now doing stuff with Psychic Wave. In his free time, he has blessed me with his bass skills to make Psychic Wave that much cooler. We get together here at our office and we have band practice. And yeah, Mike, it's been super fun. You and Enrique on the drums, you guys doing that whole Led Zeppelin thing, damn, that was fun. And I'm over here around Will Niswonger, Michael Maldonado, Enrique Estrada. They're the other members of Psychic Wave, the band, and they're shredders. They're just so fucking good. And I'm happy to be around people that I get excited being in the band with them, just watching them do their thing. So yeah, I'm excited for Wednesday too, Mike. Andrew Whip. Yes, I said you were a great interviewer. Oh, thanks, Andrew. I do remember somebody saying that, and I'm glad it was you. So thank you, Andrew Whip. Hope you're having a good day. All right, so I guess I'll go into my next subject because I use this as a time to just ramble and talk about shit that I think is funny in my life that I would like to share with everybody. And one thing that I like to do is kind of surprise people with things that I enjoy that maybe they think I wouldn't originally. One of those things that I really enjoy is watching The Bachelor. Now, I know that seems super stupid because it is, but The Bachelor is the funniest fucking show I have ever seen. Just the single idea of getting like 30 women to compete for the love and simultaneously date one dumbass dude is fucking hilarious. And, it's kind of funny now that I'm thinking about it. My buddy Nani, his open relationship, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You're just having a bunch of people dating each other and shit just gets crazy. And look, I'm not an idiot. I know that The Bachelor is 99.9% setup. I think the only 1% that isn't set up is the fact that you're working with real people. And I think filming and being around these situations all the time definitely will fuck with your head a little bit. Reality TV fucks with people. Clearly. They have meltdowns all the time. Andrew Whip, Sam Pepper is currently live walking on a cliff. Hope someone pushes him. Dude, no! Sam Pepper, don't get pushed off of a cliff. Be careful. Andrew Whip is out there trying to make you meet your maker. John Denault, do you like Temptation Island? I've never heard of Temptation Island. That sounds like a porno. I know when I'm being tricked. So, no, never heard of Temptation Island. But, okay, The Bachelor. My girlfriend Tess was like, we've been together for for about 7 years now. So one thing that we love to do with each other is watch TV because, number one, doesn't cost anything. Number two, relaxing, right? Sometimes you watch a good movie, like a really intense drama. Sometimes you watch a comedy. Life's good. You're just relaxing with your bae. Everything's cool. But so we had been drinking, and she's like, hey, I've got an idea. How about we watch The Bachelor? And at first I was like, fuck that. Those reality TV shows are so dumb. Those chicks are so fucking dumb. Those guys are so fucking dumb. So she turns it on. After 1 minute, I'm glued to the TV screen. I cannot believe the drama that is unfolding in front of me. Now, maybe it's because I don't deal with that kind of drama in my everyday life, but it's fucking crazy. It's a horrible, horrible TV show. It eats away my brain. I feel like 10 times dumber when I'm watching it, but that's okay. That's totally okay. Sometimes I need to just get my brain chewed at and melt and watch people be dumb and try to have sex with each other on live TV. It's great. It's great. Andrew Whip, how can we get you a big subscriber base, man? You deserve a hell of a lot more, in my opinion. Hey, thanks, man. Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea. I think one of the ways to do it is to just be consistent with things like this, interact with a lot more people in the chat, and during my one-on-one interviews, try to get, maybe some more popular YouTubers on here. I've had Sam Pepper, who's a very huge live streamer. I've had the Hall brothers, who are very big on YouTube as well. And I think the point is you've just got to collaborate with more people. And as you do that, you end up meeting more people in the scene, I guess. And as long as you're a good person to them and aren't a dick, usually with hard work, I think you'll get somewhere. I don't have a lot of followers right now, but I really enjoy doing this. Excuse me. And I'm trying to put more effort into what I do. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you thinking I should have more subscribers. That'd be very nice. It'd be very cool to have more live viewers for when I do podcasts with one-on-one bands or YouTubers. It's a lot of fun for me. It really is. So I appreciate what you have to say. But with The Bachelor, okay, is anybody else that's in the chat watching The Bachelor? Please say yes. Please got to have somebody in here watching, because the thing about, I'm not caught up, by the way. I watch it on Hulu. But the thing about this Bachelor is that he supposedly is like a 26-year-old virgin who played professional football for a few years. Fuck off. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, if you want my opinion, which you're watching this, so I'm going to give it to you anyway. This guy played football in high school, obviously college, and then, the NFL or whatever for a little bit. But you're telling me, and he's not like super religious or anything, so he wasn't like waiting till marriage. It's not one of those deals. He just said the time never came. How do you... I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And this is the beauty of things like The Bachelor. It's all set up. It's all set up. They just get tons of hot chicks and then some mediocre, good-looking dude that, has big muscles and probably, like, I don't know, just this generic-looking dude, this American-looking dude. They get them all together and they create this fake drama, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I've never wanted to waste my time doing anything more than that. Like, because none of it matters. There's no, like, actual drama to it. Things are happening, but there's no consequences. It's beautiful. You just see these people ruining their lives. Oh, how great. How great. John says, sorry, dude, never watched it. It's, all right, you and Tracy, you've got to watch it. Just watch one episode for me. Watch one episode of The Bachelor. Watch the first one of this season, just for me. It's hilarious. It's so stupid. You guys will love it. Have some drinks. Watch it. You'll enjoy just laughing at other people. All right, so, look, maybe I'm out of my depth here, but The Bachelor is super fun to watch. Whatever. I've been trying to get some of my friends. I've been trying to get Tess and I, my girlfriend and I, Rose and Nani, and maybe Andrew of the High Curbs and Sid, his girlfriend, to have a Bachelor party night where we all get together and watch it live. Because, come on, I mean, it's the same thing as like watching sports with friends. You do it, it's really just to bond, but it's fucking hilarious because you can root for which girls you think are going to get voted off, who's going to start a fight. It's stupid, but I think it'll be fun. I want to try to do that. John, I don't think I can make that commitment. Come on, dude, you got to watch one episode. All right? Jeez. Tracy, okay, Andrew, we'll watch it and try not to puke. Okay, John and Tracy, what kind of shows do you like to watch? Tell me that. Andrew Whip, how's your dad? My dad is doing really well. He was just working at the office yesterday with Aaron Hall of the Hall brothers. The Hall brothers have a new video up. You should go to their YouTube and watch that video. They've got some merch that they have up, and it's fucking hilarious. My dad helped film their merch release video, and it's not like a typical merch release video. It's super funny, and my dad's camera work and his editing is just unbelievable. He's so good at making videos and putting them together, which is probably why he has such a big Instagram, his junk dramp thing. So he's doing really well. I think he's really happy. He likes hanging out with creative people and filming. So he's really good. Thanks for asking, Andrew Whip. Michael Maldonado, got to go to Zumba. Have a great day, buddy. You are a golden god. You are a golden god, dude. Hey, Mike, before you go, has you ever seen the Grand Slams? Anyway, inside joke. All right, but see you later, Mike. I'll see you on Wednesday for band practice. John Denault, crime and medical drama. Ooh, crime and medical drama? What are your shows, though? I used to watch House when it was actually on TV. Fucking love that show. All right, so I guess on to my next subject that I want to talk about. So as some of you know, I do a podcast. I do live streams like this. And when I first started my podcasts, I had no expectations for them other than, to make them and watch them when I get older and kind of laugh and see what my life was like in the past. And when I started it, my Instagram had maybe 100 followers. Right now, we're close to 7,000. I've got a good amount of followers on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and we just uploaded the podcast to Spotify now, so we're on there. But my point is, when I first started the podcast, I didn't think anything of it. I was chatting with friends, and I immediately was extremely open about everything that goes on in my life. And I was very opinionated, which I still am, but I just said whatever came to my mind. And as these things grow, more people that I know have watched my podcast. Like I'll go to the Continental Room in Fullerton, and people will be like, "Hey, you're Andrew from Psychic Wave." Which the first time that happened, I almost shit my pants. I was like, "Yes." It seems cool, right? But then when you meet somebody in public that you don't know, who has seen hours of you on the internet talking about your personal life, it gets a little weird. Real quick, Andrew Whip, I've just started watching Narcos. It's not bad. Dude, Narcos is a really good TV show. I watched that one, and I watched Narcos Mexico as well. Loved that show. John Denault, Law and Order, Chicago Med, etc. House was really good. Yeah, I love those shows. And John and Tracy in the chat here are a good example of what I'm talking about right now. As things grew, some of my family started watching my podcast. Some of my family started listening to my podcast. And I've talked a lot about partying, drinking, drugs, sex, things that I did not at the time expect other family members to hear me say. Now, John and Tracy are super cool. They're in the chat, so I don't think they're going to judge me too hard. But my point is, as this grew, I didn't realize that there'd be a back catalog of me saying some things that would really upset my family members. And when I first started doing this podcast, I would get, invited to dinner with family, and they'd say, "Hey, you want to come to dinner with me?" And I'd say, "Oh, I can't. I'm sorry, I got something to do." "Oh, what are you doing?" "Oh, I got a podcast." And they're like, "A podcast? Come on, can't you just skip that? Just come to dinner." And I'm like, "No, I'm interviewing actual people. It's not something that I can just, push to the side, because I've made these plans for sometimes over 2 months." And the older I get and the more that I do these podcasts, I think the more tame I am with what I say. I used to say very outlandish things, maybe just to be silly and just to be offensive. But, there are countless hours on these podcasts of me talking about, going to Vegas and pretty much ODing or drinking way too much from time to time. And although I don't do shit like that anymore, and it was a past version of myself, I still get very uncomfortable when I meet somebody that might have information about me that I don't know they have. A prime example is a podcast guest that I had on once, Twanner, who was sitting right across from me. He makes really cool electronic music. And we were talking, and I was bringing up a story about something that had happened in my life. And he said, "Oh, yeah, no, I know." And I was like, "What?" He said, "Oh, yeah, I've listened to every single one of your podcasts." I was like, shit. I almost felt invaded. I felt like somebody went into the country of my soul and invaded and burned down all my shit, stole my babies from my heart. It was fucking weird. I got pillaged. Somebody raped and pillaged my personal life. But, it was my fault. I put it out there on the internet. But at the same time, I don't know who has all this information about me. And it gave me a lot of stress at one point. But I had to just deal with it. So, anyway, you see, I don't even like complaining because I'm complaining about shit that is my fault. Everything that I complain about, I did to myself. That's how it works, right? One thing I definitely don't want to be, which is something I was when I was a kid, is I blamed everything that happened on me on someone else or some other thing that I couldn't control. And with very few exceptions, it was always my fault. Always my fault. I'm not saying I fuck up every day, but when I was a kid and I was growing up, for sure, I made everything else somebody else's problem. And I don't like doing that anymore. It feels kind of good to take responsibility for your actions. Who knew, right? Growing up. It's fucking weird, man. It's fucking weird. Well, I'll get on to a new subject. I just wanted to say that there's definitely a lot of people that are in my life that I feel like look at me different, and I'm pretty sure they've listened to some of my podcasts. Like my girlfriend's parents. My girlfriend's parents, when I first started dating Tess, I remember her dad took me aside, and he looked at me deep in the eyes, and he said, "I have never seen her as happy as when she's with you." And I could just feel the acceptance. Like, that's what you want, right? When you're dating some dude's daughter, right? You want to feel like their parents are proud of you. And I honestly love her parents. They're amazing people, and so I want to impress them. And when I first started the podcast, they were like, "Oh my God, that's so cool." They were very supportive. And then there was a point when I think they might have listened to one or two of my podcasts and realized, oh shit, this guy's trouble. I definitely still feel the love from them, but there's things that I wish maybe they didn't know about myself. But hey, maybe honesty is always the best policy. Maybe honesty with everything makes it to where you can't hide or make excuses. So who knows? Maybe it's for the best. Tracy, at least you can take responsibility. Yeah, most of the time. John Denault, once I realized I was my own problem, life got much better. Yeah, John. It's super funny. Everyone in the family has so much love for you, and you've got some crazy stories about your past, and honestly, they crack me up. I think they're hilarious. But I know from my own experience that fucking up in the past is extremely embarrassing, and the moment that you own it, it's no longer that embarrassing. It's just, that's the way life is. Kids are stupid. And I'm only 25, and I'm still stupid, but I think as we get older, I don't even have the energy to be as stupid as I was in the past. But yeah, I think that's the great thing about life is we have time to redeem ourselves. Most of us, if we want to. So that's really cool. All right, so new subject. Again, if you don't know, if you're in the chat, this is your chance to go in the chat and ask me some questions. You could be mean to me, you could roast me, you could ask something about one of the last podcast guests that I've had on. Whatever you want. I'll respond to you and try to be as honest as possible. And if you can be funny in the chat, hell yeah. That's even better. If you're going to be mean, at least be funny. At least make it cool. But new subject. So I have this song that I just released on YouTube. I believe it was yesterday. What was yesterday? Friday? No, I think it was Thursday. But it's a song I wrote called Silver. I performed it for the first time live in Marfa, Texas, while on tour with Iris. And I did a solo set, just me and electric guitar. And I performed that song, which seemed very fitting to do in a small town in Marfa, Texas. It's a song about losing a horse. So for some reason, I'd been into a lot of Westerns lately, and Western music, Western-sounding music. And so I wanted to write the classic cowboy song. You know what I mean? I don't know if any of you remember that Disney movie short film thing that they had, but I used to have it on VHS, and it was a cartoon, obviously like drawn in the 50s or 60s, but the song went, every cowboy needs a horse, needs a horse, needs a horse, and a pair of shiny spurs, shiny spurs. Stupid, right? Stupid. But I loved it as a kid, and I loved the idea of being a cowboy. And so I decided to write a sad cowboy song, and I posted that yesterday on this YouTube channel. The song is called Silver, and I actually recorded it live in the Psychic Wave office here. And I tried my best. I hope you guys enjoy it. It was a lot of fun for me. I workshopped it in Texas when I performed it live, and it's one of my favorite songs to play. If you guys liked that live version of me playing that song, I'll definitely do more songs like that. Pretty much all the songs that I've ever written, I can strip down to just me and an acoustic guitar. And I enjoy doing it, so if you guys enjoyed it, I'll put some more up, maybe one every 2 weeks or something like that. But anyway, you can check that out. I know, it's like, why am I telling you these things? They don't really matter to you, right? Nope, they don't. They matter to me, but this is what I do. Psychic Wave is a band, a podcast, and a screen printing company, and this is what I spend my days doing. Writing music, printing t-shirts, managing the company, doing podcasts, meeting with bands, and trying to get this thing moving forward and be more professional and have fun every time I do something. So, yeah. That's what I did. I wrote a song. If you guys want to listen to it, you can. I won't harp on it that much longer. Andrew Whip, you've got to be true to yourself. You are young, so we all learn as we progress. Hey, Andrew Whip, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you, and where are you from? I'm not trying to track you down, but it's just interesting to hear where some of my viewers are from. And I appreciate you commenting, so getting to know you a little bit would be nice. John Denault, it was awesome. The song? Are you referring to the song? If you are, thanks. I appreciate it. That one was very easy for me to write because it was very simple, but I love Western style songs, and I like writing sad songs, especially with an acoustic guitar. It's really fun. It's nice to slow down from the rock and roll thing and get into sad cowboy mode. I really like that. Andrew Whip, no point worrying about the past. Everyone has demons. Yeah, man, and I, you know what's funny? I've had a lot of demons, but you reminded me of this dream that I had once. And it was a dream that I was outside my house. And it was my house, but it wasn't, you know? And in the second story window at nighttime, I could see in my bedroom, looking out the window, the silhouette of a demon with horns. And at first I was really scared, right? But I went into the kitchen, I grabbed the biggest fucking knife I could find, and I ran upstairs. And when I opened the door to my room, the moonlight showed through, and there was a silhouette of the demon just standing there, completely still. Scared shitless. I remember the feeling. But I ran up to it, and I stabbed it right in the chest. And as I stabbed it, poof, it disappeared into a puff of smoke, and I woke up. But I remember waking up feeling like, fuck yeah, I just killed that demon. I ain't scared of shit. But my point to that is, yeah, you gotta face your demons, man. And even if it's in a dream state, I think it's important. Andrew Whip says, past 25, it all starts to slot into place. I really hope so, man. I'm 25 now, and I love being wild, and I love being crazy and having fun, but at the same time, there's a part of me that wants change. And I think I am making small steps forward to change my life for the better, and I can't wait for it all to start making sense. I was watching an Eagles documentary, and Joe Walsh was saying, you know, when you're living your life and you're young, everything just seems to be these random events crashing into each other that make no fucking sense, and it's horrible, and it hurts. But towards the end of your life, it all starts to look like a finely crafted novel. Like there's a reason all these things happened, and it brought you to where you are. But when you're going through it, it hurts, and it's confusing, and I can't wait for it to start making sense. Tracy, Silver, great song, made me think of Horse with No Name. By America? Woo, I love America. And that song? Yes, I love that song. So thank you. Wow, that's amazing. That's a classic song. I enjoy playing it. I don't think it's as good as Horse with No Name, but thank you very much. Andrew Whip, do you smoke weed? So I used to smoke a lot of weed, like a lot. When I was 18, I got my medical license here in California, so I could basically go into any shop and buy weed, and I was buying eighths maybe like every week. I had multiple bongs. I was a real stoner, you know? And around 19... Actually, I've been smoking since I was 16. Smoking weed since I was 16. But I got my med license at 18. And then around 1920, I did acid. And after that, I could no longer smoke weed in the same way that I could before. I no longer got the exciting, silly, psychedelic fun that came from smoking weed. And instead, I would get anxiety. I've changed a lot about my lifestyle as far as like my diet and my health, and I can smoke weed. I maybe smoke weed maybe like once a week now, and when I say smoke weed, it's like 2 to 4 at the very max hits off of a joint, like on a Sunday afternoon. I don't smoke it to like get blasted to the moon anymore. So, but yeah, I smoke weed sometimes. It's California. Why not? Smoke some weed if you want. Just don't abuse it. Whatever you do, just don't abuse it. 25. Tracy, things didn't start making sense until you were 40? Oh, man. I've got a long way to go. I've got a lot of fucking up to do. By the way, I don't mean to say that 40's old. That's not what I'm saying. When I'm hanging out with you, Tracy, I swear, it's like we're both just kids. You're hilarious, and you don't look a day over 19. But shit, if I'm gonna keep making mistakes for almost 20 more years, it's gonna... I don't know if I could do it. I hope I start getting my shit together, because I don't want to keep fucking up. But I guarantee you I will keep fucking up, and life will be hard probably till the day I die, because there's lessons that you can learn every day. Andrew Whip, great voice, man. Thank you. When I first started singing, it was for Psychic Wave. It was my kind of solo passion project for music, and it was really hard for me to sing and find my voice, and it means so much when somebody says that I have a good voice, because I still get incredibly nervous. I get nervous even listening to my own voice in these headphones to monitor the podcast, but with time it gets easier. So thank you. It means a lot. It's extremely difficult to sing, and I still am very insecure about it, so I appreciate it. Andrew Whip, same as man. I did mushrooms. I've never done mushrooms, but I hear mushrooms are a little bit more tame than LSD, depending on who you talk to. I've done LSD maybe like 5 times, and each time, it blasted me out there, man, past the further reaches of space. And, I think I've seen all I can see. I've been to the end and back, and I appreciated the journey. I'm glad that I did it, but I don't really need to blast myself into oblivion anymore. I kind of just really like relaxing, and I will always incorporate some form of silly psychedelic vibes into my life, because I like being weird, but I don't think I need drugs anymore to get me to that point. I've seen, trust me, I've met God a few times, or whatever you want to call him, or it, and it's fucking crazy. So those days are past. Andrew Whip, I got anxiety, so I stopped. Yeah. After LSD, man, I started being more introspective about my life, and holy shit, I got anxiety. So, yeah. John says, I put it all together for her. John, are you saying that when you came into Tracy's life, everything started to make sense? I'll go along with that. Yeah, sure. You guys seem very much in love, so I'll give you that one, John. I'd also like to remind you, when you guys went to high school with each other, you didn't have the best time. So, but I'm glad it all worked out. Andrew Whip, there's a guy in UK called Billy Lockett. Check him out. He can't quite crack it, but has a large following on Twitter and YouTube. Huh. So what's interesting about Billy Lockett? Why should I check him out? I'll take your advice, but I just want to know what you what you like about him. What's his deal? What is he? Is he like a music guy? Run a blog? What is it? Andrew Whip, you are better in my opinion. Aw, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But I will check him out. I mean, I like, it'd be interesting to see more people doing live streams and stuff like that. So I'll take you up on that advice. Andrew Whip, mushrooms gave me glandular fever, messed me up. What the fuck is glandular fever? Glandular. What is that, dude? What's glandular fever? Andrew Whip. Oh, so you're in the UK, Andrew Whip. That's where you live? Very cool. John Denault, it was all about my attitude. It was horrid. Oh, are you saying you were bad in high school? I mean, who isn't a fucking asshole in high school? I was horrible. I'm still an asshole now. I'm just less of an asshole than I was in high school. But I promise you, I'm still an asshole. Andrew Whip, I knew his dad. Oh, very cool. Very cool. So, one of the last subjects I want to talk to you guys about while you're in the chat, go ahead and still ask questions or tell me some shit about yourselves, but I'll start talking about one of my last subjects. Spotify. So, I've had Psychic Wave music on Spotify for a long time, and it will continue to be up. But now that we're practicing with a band again, we're going to have some new music for you. But more importantly, I've only had the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher. That's like the Android version for podcasts. But I have now put all the podcasts on Spotify. So if you have Spotify and you don't like to use Apple Podcasts or Stitcher, all of the podcasts are up there, and they will continue to be uploaded from now on, just like they are with Apple Podcasts and Stitcher. So podcasts are on Spotify now, which is super cool because I use Spotify every day for music, and I really like that they're getting into podcasting. And I hope that if you're on Spotify, you'll look up Psychic Wave and you can follow us and get updates on there. So that's how it goes. Tracy, you're not an asshole. Well, you're family, so I wouldn't dare cross you. But I've definitely I've pissed some people off in my past. Let's just say that. John Denald, Andrew was an asshole when he... Oh, when you're saying when I put a rock in your wetsuit? Yeah, dude, that was... Okay, honestly, though, that was hilarious because, you know, how old was I? Maybe 14 or 16? So I went on a river trip with John, and he wears a wetsuit because, you know, why not? You're on the river. And there was this really round rock that I unzipped, and I unzipped his wetsuit and I put the large rock in his wetsuit. And, you know, I'm an idiot. I didn't think that, like, you know, all the little sand and stuff in there would chafe him because he's wearing it all day. I just thought it'd be funny. And John got so pissed. John got so pissed at me to where it scared me. I was like, oh, shit, because I'd never seen that side of John. But it was warranted. And you know what, John? I haven't put a rock in anyone's wetsuit since. So... lesson learned. And now we're drinking buddies. How great is that? Yeah, but sorry about that. What are you going to do? I was an idiot. Andrew Whip, you have a nice nature, Andrew. Thanks. And you've got a nice name, Andrew Whip. But you seem very kind too, so I appreciate you staying in the chat for so long. The fact that anybody listens to anything that I have to say, I'm very honored to have taken up your time. And it's honestly, I love doing this. I love podcasting. And I encourage anybody to start it up. My buddy Nani is in the band Bundy. He started a podcast after coming on mine, and he has a really great thing going down in Long Beach. And podcasting is just so much fun. I think without acting like I'm doing the world some great service, I do think that it's important to have tough conversations with people. And the fact that we can record them and put them up live for the whole world to see, I think is one of the great achievements of the time we're living in. In the past, you used to only be able to hear interviews and stuff like that through major news publications or major TV shows. And to me, they always seemed very phony. But now 2 kids in India can have a podcast and make a difference. I actually did have a kid come on here once. Or not on here, but they commented on one of my podcasts, and they said, "Hey, check out mine." And I was in a good mood, so I clicked on their link, and they ended up being 2 little girls from India doing a podcast with their friends on their pink princess bed, and it was hilarious. Those girls had such a great sense of humor. It was such a mind-blowing experience for me because they were showing me not only a side of children that I'd never seen, but children in a different country. And the fact that they got their podcast up and running and their kids, oh man, that made me so happy. I think it's really important to see what humans are like across the world. And if I can be honest and do this here, I think without acting like I'm doing the world some great service, I think it's important. I think it's important to show the world how we feel, especially in this age of mental health being such a big issue. I think it's really good to analyze people and see what makes them tick. And it's fun for me. So thanks. Andrew Whip, could have been worse. You could have put dog shit in it. That is true. I could have put dog shit in in John's wetsuit. I don't think I've done anything fucked up to John since, so I'm glad. All right, we're at the end here, so if you have any last questions, go ahead and ask them. I'll try to do another weekly wrap-up and Q&A either Friday or Saturday of next week. I've got some really cool stuff coming up for you. Ozzy Chong of the Kid Chocolate Band and Stormhouse will be on the podcast on Monday. He said he's going to bring tequila and get me fucked up. So if you want to be in the live chat for that, maybe we'll play a drinking game or something during the interview, but it's going to be wild because I get sloppy on tequila. So if you want to come in and watch us get fucked up on Monday night, you're welcome to. That'll be Monday about between 8 and 9. We'll start the podcast. What else is coming up? Oh, I'm going to be making a road trip to Austin, Texas at the end of the month with my girlfriend and hopefully do some podcasts out there. So if you're in Austin, Texas or know anybody that I should interview, please give me their information. Also, if you enjoyed this live stream and want to see more, please like and subscribe. It's very important to me so I can see if this is something worth doing, and if people want to see more of it, please like and subscribe. Anyway, I guess I'll get to the last questions here. Andrew Whip, do you write your own lyrics? Yes, I do. I write, so all of this music on Psychic Waves, Spotify, and on YouTube was written by me. Some of the bass in some of the songs was written and recorded by my girlfriend Tess. She's no longer in the band. She got very busy with work and has other creative ventures that she does. She's an amazing photographer, so she does that stuff now. But besides that, I write all the music that's on Psychic Wave Spotify. As of right now, we've got a new guitarist. He's the lead guitarist now. I'm rhythm. We've got a new bassist, and it's the same drummer. So we're all writing together more equally, but I always write the lyrics myself. Yes. So yeah, thanks. All right, guys. I hope you have a good Saturday. Thanks for hanging out. And once again, please like and subscribe. If you have anything that I did not get to mention in the chat, go ahead and leave it in the comments when this video is posted. It'll be posted in about 5 minutes because as soon as I sign off, it posts itself. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks, guys. Have a great Saturday. Bye, John. Bye, Tracy. Bye, Andrew Whip. And thanks, everybody else watching. Appreciate it. Like and subscribe, please.